Conspiracies. Probably one of the most interesting topics, in my opinion. And the reason for that is because there is no absolute final answers or final truths to it as far as we know. So why am I talking about this today specifically? Because I think that there has been a sort of mentality raised in today's society in which we tend to dismiss a lot of these so-called extremists just as wackos or whatever. Let me explain it this way. So somebody has reason to think that the government is doing something wrong behind our back. Let's go with the example of, I don't know, like the moon landings or the UFO sightings, that's the government behind it, or the 9/11 attack that the government was responsible, those kinds of conspiracy theories. I noticed that people tend to dismiss them really quickly, more quickly than they should, because even though I do consider that a lot of them can be just paranoid thinking, I do give them credit because you gotta think outside of the box. And a lot of these people who are extremists and conspiracy theorists, they are people who simply think outside of the box, and they look at it from a totally, outward view, or either they look at it from a free-minded view where they don't care about what others think, because others label them as extremists, as wackos, as conspiracy theorists, as nutcases. And so I believe that kind of mindset makes us ignore the validity that might be in conspiracy theorists. Even if they have a point, we won't notice, because we will assume that they are wackos without even considering it. And that's the main problem with today's society. People will not look at it and actually consider it. They've grown to think of it just as it's actually a logical fallacy ad hominem. You label the argument as wrong because of because of how it looks. You label it and you consider it wacko and crazy and not right because it just seems that way from an outward view, but you don't even look into it. And I'm not even saying that we should believe these conspiracy theories, but we should at least keep an open mind and open view towards them. For example, the moon landings. I haven't been informed enough to make a good decision. Maybe they are right. Maybe the moon landings were faked. And maybe they were not faked. I don't know. But I keep an open mind because I know there's always a possibility. I mean, when you look at it, truthfully, is there anything that the government wouldn't do behind our backs? I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the government does a lot of stuff behind our backs. So why not consider these theories? So, the moon landings, that's something I'd consider. I don't consider it really high likely at all that the moon landings are fake. I think that they were real. But I would consider it something that the government would do. And let's take 9/11. A lot of people have said that it was an inside job from the government. That is something I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was. For me, it's a 50-50. But, the government can do stuff like that. But this isn't about the government or anything like that. Hell, my channel isn't even supposed to be political. But I'm just talking about, the conspiracy theorists and the bad stigma that has developed around them. And I really think that people need to have more of an open ear towards it and actually look into it and study it and decide, looking at the facts, whether it's wrong or not, instead of just saying, that sounds crazy, hell with that, Studying it instead of labeling it and pushing it off like it was crazy talk. So anyways, that's what's been on my mind lately. Have a good day.